What's up, everybody? I've got a lot of emails, a lot of messages, a lot of comments about doing a dissecting drifting video. So we're going to go ahead and do one for Atlanta. I did a video for the Fox body about a week ago now, and I was like, I'm not asking you to like it. I want to know if it's good or bad, right? So like a thumbs down, a thumbs up, a comment, whatever you can do to let me know how to improve it. Because of that video and how many likes it got and thumbs up, we're now going to do an entire series about that car and build it out, because there was so much interest in it and it showed so much likes and so many things that we're like, oh, we'll just do a whole series on it. So next week we'll have a video for that, and I'm going to try to release a video every week until that thing is ripping. And it becomes part of the channel as a build anyway. So that's going to come shortly. But like I was saying, if you like these dissecting drifting videos, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Like, for me, it's simple and easy. Like, I know that. If you want to make a comment about what you like or you dislike about it, sweet. Let me know. Because like that will make me want to do these or not do them, because they take a ton of time. Like, these dissecting videos is about 4 hours of me shooting and talking, and then the editing aspect of it afterwards, because some of these are an hour and a half or 2 hour long actual videos, and to do that and like have you guys not like it or whatever, I don't need to do it. I'd rather just watch them in my own time. But anyways, so we're gonna dive right into this battle, or these battles from top 16 on. First thing we're going to show you is a qualifying run, whoever was the highest qualifier, which this case was Matt Field. So we're going to show you his run and show you how he could have improved to get a 100-point run. So that way you know what the best lead run would be for the chase. And having a good lead run is the most important job for the chase. Like, realistically, if you go out and you lay a super amazing lead run down and the person's chase is great, but not amazing, great, okay? And then the other way goes around and you have a great lead run, not amazing, great lead run, and that dude's chase is equally great, then that dude wins, the chase driver. Because anything that the lead car driver does drastically affects the chase, especially at a track like Atlanta where it's high speed, low speed, high speed, low speed, high speed, right? All those slowdown zones, how they transition through the track, how they do all of that it drastically affects the chase. And if you're slowing down or making any sort of correction in a spot that you're not supposed to, even if it's just minute, like gaining speed, level off, gaining speed, in a spot where the chase driver is expecting you to be consistently gaining speed, man, it makes it really, really tough to be able to slow the car coming through the smoke and keep good proximity. So typically you'll see a lot of this on track in the chase with someone that's not doing a super smooth lead run. When someone does a super smooth lead run, runs the outside track, fills all the zones, goes exactly where the chase driver expects them to go, it allows them to be able to take the chance, drive in, and do what you need to do. And vice versa, if you're doing a lead run and it's all online and everything you need to, but there's some extra handbrakes, some pedaling, a little left foot brake, and there's some other things that are maybe not exactly smooth, it makes the chase driver really tough job. It makes them really have to work at it. And all of those little chops every time, these super hooked up cars, they waver and they affect. And then all those little things you're doing with the handbrake and the shifting and all that stuff, one little extra mistake from the lead car driver doing such a small change that you have to make a correction could end the whole run. So it's really important to do that 90-plus point lead run and to really do the smoothest lap you can. And I can't justify that or emphasize that enough. The lead run is so important at a track like this. Going into Orlando, the lead run's not quite as important. Once you get in the entry, you know they're going to be on power all the way, and there's only going to be one transition spot through the smoke, and you're either going to get it or you're not. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to watch qualifying first. Well, first I'm going to go over the track map. Then I'm going to go over qualifying with Matt. And then I'm going to go through every top 16 battle all the way to the finish. So hopefully I get them all and I don't get screwed up, but we'll see. Okay, so here's a quick rundown of the track. Start is here. This is downhill, very, very steep hill. You can enter anywhere between the 3 and the 1 cone, according to the judges. The momentum zone is a spot where you're allowed to smoothly slow down and actually make some sort of braking, handbrake, whatever the gesture is. It's just so that you don't have any massive abrupt stops. You're just smoothly slowing down in that section. Anywhere else on track, you're supposed to maintain or be accelerating speed. So you can enter anywhere between 3, 2, and 1, 1 being the latest. After 1, it's a 0. So you'll come down. We were entering at about 105 to 109, depending on what lap it was. And then in the chase, it was about 100, and I think that's typically just because I always try to enter with the lead driver, not necessarily let them enter and then I drive up on their door. So I think I was just entering up a little bit earlier. Our car's a little bit heavy and can slide into the turn on the door pretty easily. You pick up the power and you drive through interclip 1, which is here. And then if you notice, the momentum zone stops right at interclip 1. You're supposed to be on power all the way through the second turn, up the hill, and then a little bit before the start of the outer zone 1, you're allowed to, again, start to decel, whether it be angle or brake or handbrake. They want to see you having as much angle as possible here, so that way you can fill outer zone 2 on the outside here. But this section right here, you're allowed to do some sort of slowdown if needed, which obviously you are, because you get up to about 60-ish here, and this turn is like a 20-mile-an-hour turn, so you're definitely going to be decelling throughout this entire section there. So outer zone 2 is out here on the edge of the track, 2 markers real obvious there. Get on the power, drive through interclip 2, back on the power again, and then wherever you transition here doesn't quite matter to the judges as long as you're on throttle and smooth. And you get back to the inside of the track to catch this touch and go here, and then you're back on throttle across interclip 3, and this is not a momentum zone in reverse, so you're on power through interclip 3, back up the hill and to the start. The tricky part about this track is this section right here, and this section right here. This section is tricky on the way up the hill, so after interclip 1, because the judges want you on throttle all the way through here, but for some cars and some drivers and some people, it's not really possible. So they kind of have a lazy application of power in this section, and then powering up to the outer zone, or the momentum zone, outer zone 1 here. So it's typical to see somebody kind of come through here and hug the inside of here, like pivoting around this rumble strip, rather than being on throttle through that area, which makes it very, very difficult to chase, because they come through inner 1 and they wash out wide, and then you have to sit on the inside here and wait to be able to let them transition. But then they get on the gas to go up the hill, and you have to wait in order to do that because there's no room for you to go anywhere. So this is a very tricky spot. Also, interclip 2, very tricky spot. In the lead position, you want to leave outer zone 2 and drive into the interclip. And that's fine to do that, and it's a very smooth arc through there. In the chase, what happens is you end up, if you're on their door, you end up towards the inside of that section, and you get closed off there. So it's better to kind of hang back a little bit, let them do their thing, and then drive up onto their door after the interclip. Obviously, not as big of an impact as what you'd like to see being on the door the whole time through here, but you have to give a little so that you can have more here. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so that finishes up our top 16 battles of Atlanta. Going into Orlando. Orlando is an easier track to drive tandem on. The lead position of the track, even though it's only 2 turns, the lead position, it's hard to do a perfect lead run. So there'll be a lot of points deducted for the wall rides, the transition, and how you finish the track. And there's also a lot of weight on being super smooth at that track. So because the track is only 2 turns and it's not super technical in the aspect of like transitions and timing and all that, there's only really 1 transition for the whole track. You really have to be super smooth on the bank, fill the bank, leave the bank exactly at the right time, get through interclip 1 perfectly. There's like a level of perfection that is higher than other tracks because of the simplicity of it. So that's what kind of ups the difficulty. But I think the chases will be really good there. I'm excited because we're changing a couple things on our car that should really suit that track really well. And overall, Atlanta went really well. Didn't go so well for me. Kind kind of watching the driving in Atlanta, I felt like it was really evident that we had a break and this was the first event back. I'm not attacking anybody saying that the driving was subpar, but I think for the quality of drivers, teams, and the cars and the caliber of all that in Formula D, it wasn't quite there. I don't think it's really anyone in particular's fault that it's like that. I think it's just a wave where maybe the judges didn't like crack down on enough stuff because it's the first round back and the first full season and the first lot of things. And then maybe the driver's not like fully attacking that, you know, like everybody wants to just get there and drive and is excited about it. But also, like, we haven't really driven our cars at FD events. We don't really know how everyone's car is stacking up against each other. There's a lot of different tire compounds out there that have changed in the setup of cars. And now all of a sudden people think they showed up with a car that's a hot rod and now they're mid-pack, so they're making adjustments. And it's a little frantic, and I think it showed. Again, super high caliber driving. I think everybody's better than how it appeared at this event. So if you watched Atlanta and you were like, it didn't seem like everybody was, on their A game, I would agree with that. I think that Matt had some really, really good runs. I think that some other drivers like Aasbo, Vaughn, myself, and even LZ, Tuerck, I think a lot of those guys had heater runs. But it just didn't all like really come together during the battles, unfortunately. And sometimes it's like that, Sometimes you watch a good football game. Sometimes you watch a shit football game. Sometimes you see a hockey game and you're pumped on it. Sometimes it's not that great of a game overall, just kind of anticlimactic. I haven't seen a lot of that in drifting. This is one of the first ones I've seen with the driving kind of being, I don't want to say it subpar by any means. It was still really, really good. But I think everyone's better than how they drove. So I'm excited to see how that progresses through the year and gets everything going. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I need to know if you like this stuff or not. I don't care if you thumbs up, you thumbs down, whatever the case might be. Just let me know because I will keep doing this if everybody likes it. But if everybody doesn't, I'll try to do something else then. I'm kind of going to let you guys dictate a little bit of what the channel does. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I can only create a few videos a week, so I want to create videos that you guys want to watch. So, all right, see ya. Sweet, we're going to jump in and first watch the highest qualifier, which is Matt Field with a 95. I'm going to dissect this run and try to find out where he lost those 5 points outside of a 100-point run. I haven't seen this run yet. This is going to be my first time seeing it, so I'm going to break it down as we go through it. If you want to watch the runs all the way through without me breaking through it, there's Formula D's YouTube. You can check it out and watch them all the way through. So, all right, so he's coming into the first turn here. He flicks in right at about the 3 cone. He's rotating the car in. His positioning was mid-track, then out wide. Snaps to angle and maintains very good angle through there. If you notice, very little wavering. Awesome. He's setting himself up really well to pick up inner clip 1. You can see him in the car actually staring at that inner clip so he can pick that up. Lights off very early. This is a very important thing. A lot of people don't pay attention to this, and this is what makes a good driver versus someone who's just able to get through the track. He lights off very early and uses the forward to drive him into the clip rather than washing out. And you'll notice what this will do is hopefully set him up better to go up the hill. So let's see. Super close to inner clip 1. Transitions. Has a little bit of throttle modulation through that section in the transition. We can kind of watch that back really quick. Great powering off there. Little slowdown. Now he's back on the coal. He's rolling. Very smooth up the hill. Very good positioning here, but it looks like he's leaving this zone a little bit early because this is the end of the outer zone. Let's see, I'm going to play. Okay, so he's left the zone a little bit early, which makes him about 5 feet 2 on the inside, so we're probably going to see either a lift or out of angle to float the car out wide here. Oh, another handbrake right there. Okay, so that's what he's going to do to get out to this zone. Again, he's a little late to this zone because he left this zone early. Otherwise, it would have been a clean, perfect arc for a 100-point run. And then a little bit of pedaling here you can see because you can actually see the spokes on his wheels. That means he's just floating the car out to where he needs to be. But as a driver, he's ready to look at this inner clip, doing a really good job there. He's a little bit off throttle through here, and right now he's picking up the throttle to drive through inner clip 2. Really perfect line through there, lots of throttle through here, maybe even an upshift right there, which is really good. He's a little off on the touch and go. They want your bumper on the rumble strip, so it's about a foot off there. On power transition with a small little breathe there in the transition going into the last turn. If you watch his wheels slow down just a little bit and then pick speed up again, finishes outside wide where they want. So overall, I definitely see where the 5 points are lost. This is perfect textbook. The transition here, a little bit of breathing, then back on the throttle here, all good. So I think most of the points were lost by leaving that early, having to make a correction a little bit here to fill that zone, which the handbrake's okay. A little bit of lackluster there, filling the zone a little bit late, but right on line through there. Looks like an upshift there to get more wheel speed to come back down the hill. A little bit of left foot brake at the touch and go, as you saw from the rear. And then just a little bit off on that section there. So I definitely agree. There's probably about 5 points off. And I think it's about 2 or 3 at the beginning, outer zone 2, or sorry, leaving outer zone 1. And then also a little bit more. Oh, we got a little ad here. A little bit more because of the coming into the inner clip 2. So that would be my justification of that run. All right, so the first battle of the top 16 was, in fact, Matt Field and I. In top 32, I battled Taylor Hull. I got it one more time because I made some mistakes in the chase position. I didn't know that he was going to be as fast as he was. He was fast all weekend. He was even faster during our top 32 battle. But because he was faster, he was like a lot of steering input, a lot of little mistakes here and there. Mostly in the steering related, his line and his commitment was really good. So it threw me off, and I actually drove basically two tires off on the inside of the track. So the judges gave us one more time. In the second one more time, I advanced basically by just having a much better lead run and then a really good chase until the keyhole. And then he kind of pulled away from me because, to be honest with you, his car was still faster than ours going through that section. So it's very interesting to see. So obviously this is Matt Field and I. This is the one battle that obviously I have seen already because I did poor in qualifying because we had some issues. Matt is going to lead first. He was #1 qualifier, like we said. And I kind of have what I feel like I know what happened during this run. It's a little different than what the announcer, Jared, and the judges saw. But again, like obviously being the driver, I have a different situation in view. So, all right, so we're going to power down the hill. As you see, Matt sweeps over, and I enter right when he does too. So you'll notice he's 10 feet or 15 feet in front of me. I'm already starting to enter. We rotate in, and this is in about perfect position in the chase, being just a tick deeper than the lead driver, so that way you're focused on his door in the chase. His lead run looks good. He lights off early, just like he was in practice. I end up just tapping the inner clipping point, but I'm in such a great position here inside of the track to let him transition and drive up onto his door. Unfortunately, he had a big slow up here. Not something that's insane. I should have been able to correct and get through there a little bit better than I did, but because of that, it caught me off guard. I wavered, gained some speed to catch back up, tapped him, and made a huge mistake because of that. We'll run back and I'll just run it through. Just kind of pay attention to the rear tires here on Matt's car. So he gets on the gas, fires off, pedals a little bit, and then he actually handbrakes in this section right here in the transition, and then doesn't pick up the power quite as soon as he did in qualifying. Again, I should have either just went up to his door and gave him a little tap, or maybe even possibly just committed to the line and see if it worked. Then you see me waver right there. That's me reducing some angle to catch back up again. I did that as he left the zone early, just like he did in practice. So those combinations of things, him kind of doing what he had been doing, and then me kind of expecting the zone to get filled out differently, just threw it off for me enough to make that little mistake. But it all kind of started back here in that transition where I was expecting him to be quicker through here than he was. And the big thing is, you know, just the surge of me up onto his door. And then obviously I'm just trying to play catch up here. The rest of his lead run is fantastic. I've already been gapped. It's pretty much over. They'll probably show a replay here. So yeah, so entering, everything's good. Like I feel like this was like in a great position. We transition, and then right there you actually see his brake light through the transition here, which is supposed to be on power. So you watch right here. Oh, there it was. The theory is you're here and you're transitioning to here. So he's washed out and he's got to get around this clip, which when you're out here, it makes this turn much tighter. So he's actually hit the brakes while I'm in transition going through his smoke, and I fly up onto his door because of that. So handbrake and foot brake. So now I have to make a correction right here so that I don't hit him. And then that's what kind of causes this later on. So obviously a lot going on here. The judges see, like, this is what's tough for me to watch. Like as a chase driver, your car doesn't ever just magically pick up speed. Once you're in drift and on power, it's gaining speed, but consistently, right? And if you see somebody like just lunge up onto their door, it's typically the lead car driver slowing down at that point. So as you can see, I was in target to hit him. I add angle, slow down the car the best I can, and then he's on power going up the hill. So it's just kind of discrepancy of speed, and the way I read it was incorrect. The tough part for me to watching it, though, is, like I said, is to the fact that you're supposed to be railed on the throttle without lifting through that whole section, and you see a brake light and a handbrake lock up, which means he used the foot brake and the handbrake together, which would mean all four wheels were getting some pretty significant braking. But that's kind of what caused that to me. I decided, because of what happened down there, I was going to try to speed back up and drive up onto his door. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked. He left the zone a little bit early while I was basically blazing the trail to catch back up, and then we made contact because of it. So at this point right now, I know I am at a disadvantage because they've blamed the contact on me, which obviously where we did make contact was my fault. So I am going to lay down the heater lead run. As you can see, I'm leaving the line. I'm already in fourth, rolling burnout down the whole hill. Flick it in, get out wide, fire off, just tap the inner clipping zone, set myself up really great to go up the hill without any slows, tons of angle, using all the rear tire to just steer myself through the entire track. Matt's doing a fantastic job in the chase. He's all up on me, giving me a little bit of room to transition and then driving right back on. He's basically commanding that chase, that lead. But the big thing is, like we said, is it's really a nice thing to chase someone who's just floored the whole time, lots of angle, crazy 100-point style lead run, because it leaves the door open for everybody to be right on your door. So I've got tons of angle. I do tap the clip. He's where he needs to be. I'm all the way inside and then full throttle up the whole hill. Matt does the same thing on the inside. He's about a car back the whole time, which this is still a pretty significant chase for Matt, knowing that I made a big mistake. So it's really good on him to see him pushing through this part of the track right here and letting me, basically giving me no room, transitioning, getting everywhere we need to, when he didn't actually need to do that. The lead run was a heater. It left a ton of room open for him to be where he needed to be on track. But like I said, it's good to see Matt still chasing really, really hard. Obviously, Matt and I are really close friends. So it's good to see, like, even though he didn't need to, he drove that really, really hard. All right, so obviously we know because of my mistakes, Matt Field gets the win. All right, jumping into our next battle. Again, this is now into, I haven't seen any of this. So we got Justin Pollack and Kazuya Taguchi. Let's go ahead and zoom or fast forward here. Let's say the lights are going to go out. We got Taguchi in the lead and JTP in the chase. All right, so here goes the entry. All right, entering right before the 2-cone, outside of the track, great positioning. Justin is about a half a car back in the same line position. Small amounts of wavering. Taguchi lights off fairly early. JTP has less angle and gets the inner clip there. Leaving the zone pretty early here, Taguchi, but JTP's in chase right there. Taguchi about 6 to 8 feet off the outer zone there, but JTP's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing and chasing that line. Doing a really, really great job of that. Taps the inner clip, but it's not that big of a deal. If you notice, Taguchi's laying on the angle here to try to get to that zone. Well, JTP has a little bit less angle in the chase to make sure he's maintaining proximity. Super close transition there from JTP. Drops a tire off on the inside and kind of gets a little rolled on the exit. I think he lifted during that transition. But overall, Taguchi had a good run, not great. I'd give that about an 85 on the lead run scale. And the chase was good. It was a little lackluster on the angle, but he followed exactly what Taguchi was doing. So if you notice, everywhere Taguchi is, he's right there with it. Obviously not quite as much angle as Taguchi, but just doing a phenomenal job with the chase, especially right here, setting himself up, getting the transition, giving him some room, and then attacking right back to him. Like I said, a little lack of angle, but the proximity was amazing. I would definitely be looking at this like if JTP does a good lead run, he's definitely got the win just because of this chase being so good. All right, we're going to fast forward here. The lights are out. JTP's in the lead. All right, JTP, big flick. Taguchi in the position where this is amazing positioning on the chase. JTP lights off, gets around air clip 1 just great. Taguchi's right there in the back of him. And JTP surges through that transition, does a little lift right here because you see the lack of smoke. So Taguchi, less angle. JTP on the heater with a lot of angle. Leaves the zone a little bit early. Doesn't quite get the zone. We want you out there. But this is better than Taguchi's run through there. Taguchi in the chase doing a phenomenal job. And then JTP getting right on that touch and go. And Taguchi in chase. Gets a little bit rolled. Very, very similar runs. JTP's lead run was better. And I think JTP's chase run had better proximity. There was some really good random acts of greatness, especially on entry from Taguchi. JTP just had the better lead run to me, as well as the better chase overall. Taguchi had some better sections where he had matched angle, and like this through the proximity was great. Almost put a tire off there. I'd call that a tire off from JTP. This is good. This is a good battle. So if you notice, he does put a tire off right there, and Taguchi's allowed to do that in the chase because of that. Man, I still got to give it to JTP because his lead run was, to me, 5 points better, at least out of the 100. And then in the chase position, JTP just had proximity that was closer for a longer period of time. So let's see how the judges view it. JTP. So cool, JTP is going to get the win. I do agree, but it was great to see Taguchi out there in a new car, ripping, doing some really good chases. All right, so we're going to jump into the next battle. It's going to be Vaughn and Dylan Hughes. All right. They're in the burnout box. See if we can do this without getting an ad. All right, the light is out. Vaughn is leading. Dylan's in chase. Vaughn ripping down the lead run pretty good here. Okay, so right out to the outside of the track. Great job. He's actually not holding the handbrake. If you notice, it's a lot of rotation during that initiation. His positioning here is really good. Dylan has a little bit lackluster angle and doesn't quite fill the outer on entry like Vaughn does. If you take a look here, watch one more time. So a lot less angle, huge angle discrepancy here. Vaughn lights off early, misses inner clip 1 by a little bit, lots of angle through there. Dylan's kind of lost in the smoke, actually gets a transition into a little bit of understeer here. But Vaughn rotates late around this, it's not an inner, just rumble strip, but it kind of sets him up a little bit different through there. Gets out to the outer zone, picks up the power. Dylan's chopping the track on the inside, but now gets the proximity he needs. Using the forward drive to catch up. Vaughn's on a heater for a lead run. Little off on touch and go. Right on inner clip 3, actually just tips it with the wheel. and Dylan's able to finish the run within the same area code. I think Dylan's run was just a little bit sloppy in the chase, given anytime he got on throttle, he was at low angle and then going to angle later on. If you see, it's very low angle here. Wash is out wide. Vaughn washed very wide too, but was able to get around the transition with a lot of throttle. Dylan's act of greatness is really right here. He's able to get right up on the inner clip 1 or inner clip 2. Proximity is really, really good, but because of that, Vaughn's kind of shutting the door on him through here at the touch and go. And then he does maintain that gap all the way through, but we'll have to see the other part of the battle to make the decision here. All right, Dylan leading and Vaughn in the chase. Dylan does a big sweep, big entry all the way to the rumble strips. Vaughn's kind of stuck on the inside here, which might hurt him here. Let's see. Oh, he floats around it good. Really, really good lead run from Dylan. Vaughn's one tire off track in that section there. Dylan's great lead run. A little early leaving the zone here, not out at the zone there. Vaughn's up on his door, setting himself up through the section. We get the transition, and Dylan's rolling. He's out. You can see he's using that forward bite to be able to drive in and kind of gap Vaughn going through the last section. This is a really tough battle. Vaughn was in the chase. I agree that he did everything he was supposed to do and was everywhere he was supposed to be. It was a better chase, but the proximity was not as good, especially coming down the hill. So I'm kind of going to watch this replay again right here just to confirm a couple things. Let's see.
Look at the smoke link lead on the right.
All right, so we're going to take a look here, and you can see the proximity difference here. So Vaughn is definitely a little bit closer everywhere, and Vaughn is a little bit deeper everywhere on his lead run. Dylan is, his lead run's really good, but if you notice, chops the track. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. So in my eyes, what happened here is Vaughn had a better lead run overall. There were spots of Vaughn's run that wasn't great. There were spots of Dylan's run that wasn't great. But overall, Vaughn's lead run was a tick better. Vaughn's chase was better everywhere until leaving the keyhole. And then because of the way Dylan was kind of choking up at inner clip 2, I kind of see that as why Vaughn got rolled coming down the hill. So I would like to see this run one more time. So yeah, in this run for me, I thought it was one more time. It looks like the judges gave it to Vaughn. Is it unanimous? It's unanimous. I thought it should have been one more time just for the sake of the fact that the second half of the track, Vaughn got gapped pretty big. It seemed like it was all car and not necessarily a driver thing. It was just a setup of that car being faster in that particular situation. But if you look at all of the chases where it mattered, Vaughn was closer, and then Vaughn's lead run was better. So I can see that, but I would have definitely went ahead and pushed that one more time. All right, so next battle is going to be Tuerck and Meyer. So let's see. Jumping right into this battle. All right, Tuerck's going to lead first. Meyer's going to be in the chase. Meyer is up on his butt, dude. Super close on entry. Big, huge flick from Tuerck. Gangster. Chase driver. Meyer's a little bit less angle. Oh no, Tuerck goes out wide and puts 2 or maybe 3 off. Huge correction to get up the hill. Meyer is just doing what he's supposed to be doing in the chase through all of that mess. Wow, I can't believe he was able to stay in drift through all that and just kind of let Tuerck do his thing. Tuerck finishes off strong, but that's basically a 0. I mean, not basically, it's definitely a 0. He just overcooked it in the transition or on the entry. So he entered too late, and then he got on the throttle a little bit too late. He may have been able to pull that off had he got on the throttle a little earlier, but it just doesn't work for Tuerck on that one. So now Meyer just has to get through and complete the lap, and he's pretty much going to win on that aspect of things. Just trying to fast forward through this. All right, here we go. Meyer in the lead with a big sweep right out to the edge of the track. Gets on the throttle a little bit late there. Tuerck's right where he needs to be, doing a good chase here. Look at this proximity. Meyer chops the inside of the track a little bit there. Gets towards the inside again, not quite feeling this. Tuerck actually hits him because he's slowing so much and can't quite fill the zone. Meyer's off on interclip 2. It's not a great... Oh, there's an ad, dude. Come on now. All right. And Tuerck's off the track again. Meyer's way off wide. This is not a good lead run from Meyer whatsoever. Decent chase given the circumstances of Meyer being all over the place. But, you know, I got to still give this to Meyer as, you know, it's pretty much dead set on that. But look at Tuerck's entry here. No room whatsoever. Just putting the heat on him, dude. Very cool. But, yeah, it's not going to be enough. I mean, Meyer's going to get the win. There we go. And Meyer gets the win, moves on to the top 8. Interview with Vaughn. All right, so next up is going to be Frederick Aasbo, Jeff Jones. Aasbo's going to lead. Here we go, bringing it down the hill. Aasbo is out with a huge flick on entry, on power. Jeff Jones diving in, though. Look at this. Play this again. There we go. All right, Jeff Jones diving in on the inside. Aasbo going ahead and 3-wheeling up the entire hill, getting out wide. Leaves the zone a little bit early. Jones is on the inside, but he's chasing hard. Great positioning there. Everywhere he needs to be. Transition. You can tell that Jones is doing everything he can to stay on Aasbo. The Aasbo's car is just a tick faster, and that's just how it's going to be. But he did a great job. Jeff did a great job in the chase, basically just being on door at any chance he possibly could. The lead run from Aasbo was really good. He's everywhere he needed to be. Left this zone up here a little bit early and got into this zone a little bit late. Didn't really ever get into it. But Jones is right there, surging right on the inside of the door. Transitions, leaves a little bit of zone to get out there, and then dives back in again on the inside. Keeping some momentum. Obviously, this track has a lot of slowdowns and accelerations that are long, and that little bit of loss there was definitely a bummer. All right, so we had a competition timeout from Jeff Jones, but now we're back into I skipped ahead, so we didn't have to go back and watch it. Okay, so Jeff Jones is going to lead. Like I said, Jones needs to put down a banger lead run here, and that's going to give him the ability to move on against Aasbo. Let's see. Ooh, Aasbo is right there where he needs to be. Transition super tight. Jeff doing an amazing lead run here, but Aasbo is up in him. This is an amazing run from Aasbo. He's almost surpassing him on the inside. Jeff Jones on a heater of a lead run, though, looking great. Wash out a little bit, misses the touch and go, and then comes back around. Oh, this is a really good run. Let me watch this again here. Hopefully there's a replay. All right. Okay, so if you watch, this is great positioning from Aasbo on Jeff Jones. Jeff has transition here, super smooth on throttle, but left foot brake up the hill to stay out wide. Aasbo looking great over here. Let's watch this one more time because it looks like he might have straightened out a little bit here. I don't know if that was straight. Just a correction going through there. Jeff has a heater of a lead run. Aasbo is way on the inside here instead of matching his lead from Jeff, so that's not good on Aasbo's part. Oh, man, this is a good run. So it's going to come down to whether the judges think that Aasbo had a correction big enough. But, man, I think this is a one more time battle. I think Jeff's lead run was equal, if not better, than Aasbo's. And then his chase was probably equal, honestly. I think that I think it's gonna be OM time, or OM time, one more time.
Aasbo right for Jones, and we got Jeff Jones getting the win. Is that correct?
It looks like Jeff gets the win there. I think it should have been one more time. I think that it wasn't concise enough. I think that both drivers made equal mistakes in different parts of the track. So I think it was not solidified enough as a winner for me to be able to decide that Jeff had won. I think it should have been one more time. I wanted to go back and watch this because I was a little bit confused on the call, and I saw it as a one more time, but it was unanimous to Jeff. So I wanted to watch it again here, and we'll be able to see both of them in this section here. So obviously Jeff leading on the right. Initiation's about the same time. This camera's a little bit ahead of this one. Aasbo's in a better position in the chase than Jeff here, but Jeff's lead run looks equal at this point. Here's my issue with this. Jeff's on the left foot brake here, okay? So Aasbo has better proximity. Jeff's on the left foot brake. It's tough to watch because they're a little bit off. So I'm kind of watching this run, and I'm seeing a lot of Aasbo getting choked up behind the lead car. Two ways to view this. Aasbo's car is too fast, or Jeff is slowing the car down in this section, and it's unexpected. But either way, just keep that in mind. Jeff's lead run is better through this section. So Jeff is a little bit better lead run throughout the entire track. His chase is better in the keyhole right here. This is also right in front of the judges too, so it has some pretty high value. Jeff's chase is better through the second half of the track too. Jeff's lead is not as good through here. Jeff, so yeah, you know what? I think Jeff actually did win that. Now, depending on how you want to view this correction here, this is the turning point to me. In the chase, Aasbo right here. It wasn't that big of a correction. I don't know. I still think it should have been one more time. I don't know. Jeff's lead was better, and Jeff's chase was better. Jeff's lead was not better there, though. This is why I wouldn't be a judge. It's really hard. I think it's too many things going on. Also, Aasbo's car is broken. That must have happened. I don't know when that happened, but... I one more time it. I still one more time it. I do see how Jeff could win this. But, like, Aasbo definitely didn't win. But I believe that this is supposed to be a one more time. I'm still set on it being one more time. All right. Next battle. Looks like Travis Reeder, the speed reader, and Odi Bakchis. Man, these sinuses are killing me, dude. I know you guys are going to be commenting about my sniffles and my nasally action going on, but it's, dude, my allergies this time of year are so bad. Okay, here we go. We got Odi in the lead and Travis in the chase. All right, look at this flick from Odi from all the way over here. Dang, Travis is right where he needs to be. Great positioning. Washes out a little bit wide, gets some push. But what is Odi doing? Totally, we gotta watch this again. All right, flicks it in. Little tap right there, I think. But Odi's way on the wrong side. Locked up handbrake here. Now he's going to weirdly transition, slow down, pivot around inner clip, and then power back up the hill. Totally made it so Travis couldn't chase through that section at all. Travis' car looks broken. Oh, I remember this. His car is broken. Odi's lead run for the rest of the run is good. And the chase is not that great. It's kind of sloppy. Look, yeah, so his shock broke in the back. That's what happened. Let's watch this replay from another angle. So, he does get hit right there. So Travis comes in. It's not hard, though. Just adds a little bit of angle. If anything, it probably helped him. But this is crazy unnecessary from Odie. I don't know what he was doing there. And that's what totally screwed the whole rest of the run for Travis. There was definitely contact, and Travis is definitely at fault for the contact, but it was a small amount of contact. Like, it didn't even break his wise fab. And it's really easy to do that. Obviously, it didn't affect him at all either, because the rest of the lead run is fantastic. Poor Travis in that one. All right, next battle is going to be with LZ and Castro. LZ in the Ed Hardy mobile. I'm just kidding. I think it's pretty sick. It's just a little too much going on for me. And the black wheels are no dice for me. But anyways, looks like we're getting a full pull here. Castro gets way out on the outside of the track. LZ in chase. This is great positioning, but LZ's a little bit too much angle and a little bit too inside. You can see the sparks off of Castro's brakes too. All right, so Castro gets through the inner clip, brushes it. LZ smashes it. Castro, big correction here. He's on the handbrake after doing a charge through there, and he's on the foot brake. Big slowdown, but LZ does a phenomenal job not running into him. I think it's a good thing that they did have a gap back there because that gap allowed basically him to drive up onto the door here under his control and not smash. Castro doing a really good lead run here, and LZ in chase. Castro's the second half of this run for lead, and Castro's really, really good. LZ keeping the proximity, reducing some angle. Looks like Adam's car's a little too hooked up. But yeah, so basically this is huge negative on Castro right there and a huge positive on LZ. This is basically what happened with Matt and I, but his was worse. And LZ still pulled it off, so congrats to him on that one. Closes the proximity, stays within a car length for the rest of the track. At this moment right now, LZ definitely has a huge advantage in this run. He has to put down a good lead, though, so we'll have to see how that goes. A little water break there. All right, the lights are going out here. And LZ's in the lead, Castro's in the chase. LZ flicks it in, big gap here in comparison, so LZ's got the advantage. Lots of angle, a little bit of push there from the car being super hooked up. Slows in the transition there. Again, you're seeing this as a reoccurring thing, people slowing in a place where you're not supposed to. Leaves zone a little bit early. Gets into the zone but leaves early. Doesn't quite fill out her zone 2. Inner clip was okay. Castro's on him, looking pretty good through that section there, and keeping good proximity, but not great. Castro dives the inside, puts a tire off. LZ doesn't quite get out to the last outside of the zone. Whoa! Castro getting gnarly there. I think LZ's got this. He had a better chase, and the lead runs, as much as LZ's second half of the track, and he had a mistake there, I still think it's enough. I think his lead run was marginally better than Castro, very, very small amount. But LZ had the better chase too, so I definitely got to give it to LZ, probably unanimously. They're going to watch 100 plays on it. Oh, LZ gets the win. Sweet. I do agree with that call. All right, now we got Odie, and Odie gets a bye run. Oh, because it's Travis Reeder. Travis's car is broken. Let's see Odie through here. I actually really like this aero kit. It's kind of like JDM meets like what do you call it, World Touring car. So we'll watch this anyway. Really late to fire off. He's just getting on the gas at probably the latest point possible. Ooh, and then, see, this is like, I don't get it. So he does a quick handbrake here and a foot brake. You're not allowed to do that. Like, stop doing that. Because, like, to me, when someone hits you there now, it's your fault, dude. You're supposed to be on power through that whole thing. Nub shooting a crazy, man, I'm going to get nauseous. But overall, good run. It's going to go to an ad here. These ads are getting me. Overall, good lead run from Odie. Another brake check there. I use brake check, meaning he's hitting the brakes and using it. Obviously, no one's chasing him. But, yeah, just my biggest issue is, like, in the drivers' meeting, the judges repetitively kept saying, You're not allowed to lift, you're not allowed to brake or hand brake at all after inner clip 1 until you get to outer zone 2. They want on power, lots of throttle. And it seems as though no one's really doing that. So, you know, take it how it is. All right, so next battle is going to be Matt Field and Justin Pollack. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Matt Field's going to get the lead run first. Whoa. What just happened? Let's watch that again. Oh, I think JTP came onto the power after a shift and saw Matt coming over and just made a correction because of it. That was wild. So big gap now, obviously, because of that. Matt on a heater of a lead run. Hell yeah. Does another checkup, and it doesn't light off again. This is a reoccurring thing kind of coming through here. Matt, you know how to fix this? When you leave inner clip 1, get to the inside of the track, dude. Anyways, so JTP is trying to play catch up. Matt's putting a really good lead run down. And now here goes JTP. Oh, and then contact, I think, and JTP straightened. This is just not a good run from JTP in the chase, unfortunately. I think that what happened on entry with the thing, however that went, coming down the hill, just phased him. I don't really need to watch the replay. We know that he made quite a few mistakes, and Matt had a heater of the lead. All right, switch positions here. Let's see JTP in the lead run. All right, Matt's right up on him. Entry. Matt with a little less angle, but JTP's lit off super early. Gets around inner clip 1. Little loss of angle there from JTP. Looks like maybe something's going on power-wise. Not 100% sure. Yeah, I mean, Matt runs over the clip, but Matt's pretty much there, chasing, doing what he's supposed to do. JTP rolls out at the last 2 turns. Look at that. Obviously, it goes to Matt. Matt didn't make any significant mistakes. JTP had an acceptable, look at fireballs out the exhaust. Acceptable lead run, but not anything too exciting. Those mistakes from JTP in the chase are definitely going to give Matt the win there. Unanimously. All right, Vaughn leads and Meyer chases. Vaughn flicks it in, gets big angle on the outside of the track. Huge. He's backing it in, dude. Eves is just waiting there. Vaughn fires off on the throttle, through the transition. Huge speed going up the hill. This is a heater lead run. Couple corrections right there from Vaughn if we're being picky. Gets out, fills the zone. Ooh, gets hit by Meyer. Meyer just putting a little bit too much heat on and caught the front wheel of Vaughn. And Vaughn finished off the run just fine there. No problems there. Meyer's a little sloppy on the finish there. Definitely contact in the keyhole. Vaughn's lead run was good, had a couple small corrections, mostly based around handbrake stuff. And then there's that contact right there. I can see another view of it right here. So he's chopping to catch up, gets pinched off and hit. And that kind of chokes Vaughn up to get through there. So big advantage to Vaughn here. Looks like neither of their cars are broken, or maybe Vaughn's going to check his car and check it out. Let's see. Interview with Matt. All right, here we go. Oh, too far. All right, coming down the hill. Oh, Meyer all the way to the edge of the track on the rumble strip, flirting with disaster. Looks like Meyer puts a tire off on the inside, knocks a touch and go over. Vaughn staying about a half car back, putting some pressure on in this section here. He washes out really wide on there. Vaughn dives to the inside, closes proximity through the transition. Obviously, it's going to go to Vaughn. Meyer had a huge mistake. Sweet. Vaughn gets the win. All right, next battle is going to be Jeff Jones and Dean Kearney. Jeff's 38. I didn't even know he was that old. I mean, it's not super old. I'm only 5 years younger than him, but I didn't realize he was that old. All right, here we go. Jeff Jones in the lead, Kearney in the chase. Here we go. Jeff flicks it in. Good angle. Whoa! Dean is out wide, gets hit, and he stays in it. Dean smacked him hard enough. You saw the whole car shake, but he stayed in it. Oh, Dean makes a big mistake there in the chase. Looks like maybe a problem on the back side of Jeff's car. A little bit sloppy driving from it, like some corrections, but it's still, he's there, he's in it. A little off on all the clips, but good run. Good run, good run. They're going to probably check over his car. It was a pretty good whack. Dean gave him a pretty good hit. You can see it right here. Like, watch the whole car shake. Oof. So obviously Dean's going to be at fault for that one. It's in a decel zone. They're checking over Jeff's car. I'm fast forwarding. They're going to run this battle. We're going to skip it. All right, here we go. Dean in the lead, Jeff in the chase. Dean coming in, huge angle. Holy shnikes, dude. A little bit of wash there, a little off under clip one, but he's rolling. He's fast. Jeff is in the chase here, trying to make some ground up. Oh, Kearney's 2 tires off, leaves the zone early, gets chopped up. Jeff dives into the inside there, though. So real sloppy lead run from Dean. Acceptable chase from Jeff. So, I mean, I got to give it to Jeff. I don't even think there needs to be one more time. All right, so here we go. One more time. One to Jeff. And another one to Jeff. Yeah, so I was like, I agree with that. I could see the one more time because there's some contact on both ends, but to me, definitely went to Jeff Jones. All right, back to this battle here. We got Odie and LZ. Here we go. Odie coming across the track with a flick. Here comes LZ in the chase, adding some angle. Oh, that's a pretty big contact. Pretty big contact. Odie's definitely going to throw the flag on that one. That was a pretty good whack. Front and back. Looks like Odie's car is okay. We'll watch it again here. Yeah, that was a pretty good whack. Yeah, and then he's 2 tires off anyway. Odie, I mean, he could have kept going, but the reality of it is that's definitely an LZ fault, and he went 3 tires off, so probably better to save the car in case something happened anyway. Odie by run. Let's see if he does the checkup leaving outer zone or inner clip 1 going up the hill. All right, so big flick on throttle. A little bit left of brake, but no big slowdown on that one. So it's not every time he does that. So it's definitely a correction when people are slowing down there. Next battle is going to be Vaughn and Matt, and the lights are out. Matt going in the lead here. All right, so a little bit of a gap here, but matched angle and matched line. Matt's really, really good through inner clip 1. Vaughn right there in the chase. It's okay that he clipped the cone because it was such a good chase through that section. Vaughn drives up onto his door here, doing some great proximity. Matt on a really, really, really good lead run. Vaughn in the chase, pushing really hard here. Matt has a little bit of a slow up leaving the keyhole. Vaughn gets choked up because of it, and then Matt gaps him by a little bit. It's kind of important to watch this stuff because Matt had a little bit of a correction leaving the keyhole, and that made it so Vaughn couldn't door him for the rest of the track. But overall, great lead run and great chase. Vaughn putting great position in everywhere he needs to be through that section. Everything's good here. Matt just doing what he's supposed to do in the lead. Vaughn is super close in this section right here. And then Matt checks up right there, if you notice. And then because of that, Vaughn has to make a correction to not hit him. And it's just something simple. It might be, I think Matt upshifts right there. Not right there, but later on. And I think he just may have maybe missed the upshift just a little bit or didn't time everything perfectly. So if you watch right here, Matt, and then he lights off again. So just a little delay there. So I would attribute Vaughn's gap on the second half of the track going down the hill to that a little bit. But like I said, not huge things, but things do get crazy tight at the end to decide who wins the battle. So, all right, Vaughn's going to lead now. Matt's going to take the chase. All right, Vaughn goes ahead and flicks in. Huge angle. D beads the tire. D beads the tire. this is something ridiculous. His tire is not on the wheel. He's on the gas. He still has enough grip. He's three-wheeling. But unfortunately, he's washed out really far from the clip. But he's still driving. He is slowed a little bit, but not so crazy that Matt can't stay right on his door the entire time. Granted, he is leaning on the other tire right now. Matt is dooring him the entire time. Makes a little bit of contact, then Vaughn spins. Likely could be to do with a debeaded tire, but it doesn't really matter. When the tire's debeaded like that, they're going to blame that no matter what. So I would say Matt's going to get the win. But I can't believe the car is still hooking up with the tire off the wheel. I mean, look right here. Scoop. Those centerline wheels are... It's crazy. Yeah, those wheels are definitely killing it. That's so ridiculous to me. It might have popped back on. But yeah, so those RTR wheels built out by Centerline. So it's pretty sick that those things just survive through all that. But yeah, I got to say, Matt's going to get the win on that, unfortunately. Vaughn just put a tire onto the rumble strip and it debeaded the tire from the force of that. Oh, there's us. There's my wife, Chelsea. There's me. There's the rest of the RTR guys. Those are our media guys. All right, so here we go. This will be a good battle, I think. Jeff Jones and Odie Bakchis. I've had him literally announce that for me 10 times, and now I know how to say it. All right, here we go. All right, Odie's going to lead, and Jones is going to chase. Odie with a big flick into one. A little bit of a gap here. I wish Jeff could close it a little bit. Oh, wait a second. Is it just the black wheels messing with me there? It is. Okay, so Odie getting through the transition. A little bit of breathe there, but it gives a little bit of a chance for Jeff to catch up. Odie's leaving the zones early and not quite filling the zones. He's obviously hooking his car up quite a bit. Jeff is on him, though. Look at this. Holy crap, dude. Couple little corrections from Jeff. Great lead run from Odie, just not quite filling the zones, and I think it's the track temp coming down, which makes more grip on track. A lot of people think a track, when it's hot, will make more grip, but we get our tires so hot that it doesn't quite work that way. We want a cooler track to make more grip. So, good lead run from Odie. Would have liked to see a little bit more commitment through here. He did a breathe and then gets back on the gas again. Jeff should have had better proximity through here, but then right here, he's on it, super close. Even through the transition here, he stays close. And then a little bit of a roll here. Nothing crazy, about a car and a half-ish. But overall, great chase by Jeff and great lead by Odie. All right, here we go, switching positions here. Jeff's going to lead. Odie's going to chase. Odie much closer in proximity here. Look at this, super close. Odie's on one. Transition through the corner. Jeff full throttle through the whole transition. Odie on the left foot brake. Odie's proximity throughout here is pretty good. Jeff doesn't quite fill that zone. Very similar to the last lap, so we're talking same type of situation there. A little off on interclip 1. But the proximity is the key here, and I think that's where we're going to see this advantage go to Odie. Look at that transition. Odie's proximity is just much better throughout the whole run. Jeff did a heater lead and a great chase, but it's not going to be enough to beat Odie's chase. And looks like unanimous. Odie's going to get the win.
Let's light it up.
All right, next battle is going to be Odie and Field. Obviously, this is a frenemies battle. They drive together all the time, so it should be pretty cool. Let's see what we got. Matt's going to lead first. All right, Matt hucking it in. Odie in chase. Great positioning here. Matt is right where he needs to be on track, and Odie is right there on the door. Looks like he may have even gave him a little bit of tap there. Matt is on it through the transition. Oh, brakes from Matt through there. Again, I keep bringing this point up. you really got to watch this. So it's the lead car's driver in this job in this section to be full throttle all the way through that and not check up at all, because the chase driver has to transition and stay on your door and get up the hill in a part of the track that gets really, really narrow because the lead car dictates the line. So you'll see a brake light from Matt, and then no smoke off Matt's car, and a brake light from Odie right here, and then Odie ends up hitting him. So immediately I look at this, Matt's 100% at fault for that. And Matt has been doing that all night. So this is kind of funny because, like, I watch this and I'm like, well, if Odie wins now, I should have just hit Matt and I probably would have been fine. But I was ahead of the curve a little bit and didn't hit Matt.
In areas like that. Now remember, that's a decel zone, that's a decel zone, that's not a decel zone. That's not a decel zone, that's not a decel zone.
Yep, so obviously we saw that contact. That's going to be big. I would deem Matt at fault for that. They're obviously going through and ascertaining fault. Cars are going to have to get fixed.
Yes, we for watching. We still.
All right, so they're going to switch positions here.
Here we go.
All right, so it looks like Odie's leading and Matt's chasing obviously now. Odie, big heater entry. Matt, a little bit deeper and actually in a really good spot here to be able to charge up the hill with him. Transition happens through here. Matt has a little bit of a slowdown. Ooh, I don't know what's going on. I think he debeated the tire. Let's go back. All right, so here we go. Odie out wide with the flick. Matt in a great position here going up the hill. Odie right on interclip 1. Transition. Looks like maybe a little bit of diff problem from Matt, or tire spin problem. Something's going on there, though. Looks like back to normal now, though. Odie having a heater of a lead run over here, blazing him off. All right, so obviously Matt was Odie was at fault for the hit, and then Matt zeroed. So I would say one more time.
You know, if this shows up, they're going one more time. Goodness gracious.
Oh, sorry. Matt is in the lead. Odie in the chase. All right, Matt goes ahead and flicks in. A little bit shallow on the outer zone there, or on the entry. Not quite as wide as I would think. Odie is super wide back here, but it's also going to set him up to get a good drive through interclip 1. Ooh, he washes out a bit wide. Matt's in the lead. A little slow down there, but nothing crazy. Back on the throttle. Just gapping Odie everywhere. Leaves outer zone 1 a little bit early. Gets into outer zone 2 a little bit late. Odie's now on him. Super, super close. Transitions up to his door. Stays on his door. This is the closest I've seen anybody through this section right here. Matt's a little bit off on the touch and go, but finishes off really, really strong. Oh, Odie's one tire off completely on the outside zone there. I know that they didn't want to see that. Overall, good lead run from Matt and a good chase from Odie. Odie's chase a little bit sloppy for the first half of the track. All right, here we go. Switching positions here. Odie's going to lead all the way over on the track again. Back over it again. He's wider on turn 1. Lights off pretty early. Matt's right there on his door. Transitions through the smoke. Ooh, great transition timing from Matt. Really taking advantage of that. Matt's right up on his door. Odie doesn't quite fill this zone all the way here. Matt is charging hard, though, right where he needs to be. Transitions to the inside. Oh, looked like Matt might have straightened. The camera angle's not good for that there. Man, Odie like straightened before the finish line almost, I feel like. Man, couple little mistakes there from both drivers. Let's go ahead and watch the replay here. Okay, so all is good. Matt is chasing really, really well. Best transition timing there I've seen yet. A little bit of a gap up the hill, but overall this is really, really good. Odie into the zone, but leaves a little bit early. Matt right where he needs to be, transitions. He goes 2 tires off with a little bit of a straighten there. And then Odie comes around the last turn and really doesn't finish the last turn. I think it's enough to call a score, but it's not great. I mean, I think it's okay. It's probably fine. So Matt with that little mistake that's gonna be it. Matt's gonna lose because of that. Odie's gonna get the win. What a bummer. Yeah, just that small correction coming through there. Let's go fast forward. Oh, we figured it out. Oh, they just said it. So Odie gets the win, and Matt gets second, and Vaughn ends up in the third position. All right, so that finishes up our top 16 battles of Atlanta. Going into Orlando. Orlando is an easier track to drive tandem on. The lead position of the track, even though it's only 2 turns, the lead position, it's hard to do a perfect lead run. So there'll be a lot of points deducted for the wall rides, the transition, and how you finish the track. And there's also a lot of weight on being super smooth at that track. So because the track is only 2 turns and it's not super technical in the aspect of like transitions and timing and all that, there's only really 1 transition for the whole track. You really have to be super smooth on the bank, fill the bank, leave the bank exactly at the right time, get through interclip 1 perfectly. There's like a level of perfection that is higher than other tracks because of the simplicity of it. So that's what kind of ups the difficulty. But I think the chases will be really good there. I'm excited because we're changing a couple things on our car that should really suit that track really well. And overall, Atlanta went really well. Didn't go so well for me. Kind of watching the driving in Atlanta, I felt like it was really evident that we had a break and this was the first event back. I'm not attacking anybody saying that the driving was subpar, but I think for the quality of drivers, teams, and the cars and the caliber of all that in Formula D, it wasn't quite there. I don't think it's really anyone in particular's fault that it's like that. I think it's just a wave where maybe the judges didn't like crack down on enough stuff because it's the first round back and the first full season, the first lot of things. And then maybe the driver's not like fully attacking that, like everybody wants to just get there and drive and is excited about it. But also, like, we haven't really driven our cars at FD events. We don't really know how everyone's car is stacking up against each other. There's a lot of different tire compounds out there that have changed in the setup of cars. And now all of a sudden people think they showed up with a car that's a hot rod and now they're mid-pack, so they're making adjustments. And it's a little frantic, and I think it showed. Again, super high caliber driving. I think everybody's better than how it appeared at this event. So if you watched Atlanta and you were like, it didn't seem like everybody was, on their A game, I would agree with that. I think that Matt had some really, really good runs. I think that some other drivers like Aasbo, Vaughn, myself, and even LZ, Tuerck, I think a lot of those guys had heater runs. But it just didn't all like really come together during the battles, unfortunately. And then sometimes it's like that, Sometimes you watch a good football game. Sometimes you watch a shit football game. Sometimes you see a hockey game and you're pumped on it. Sometimes it's not that great of a game overall. Just kind of anticlimactic. I haven't seen a lot of that in drifting. This is one of the first ones I've seen with the driving kind of being, I don't want to say it subpar by any means. It was still really, really good. But I think everyone's better than how they drove. So I'm excited to see how that progresses through the year and gets everything going. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I need to know if you like this stuff or not. I don't care if you thumbs up, you thumbs down, whatever the case might be. Just let me know because I will keep doing this if everybody likes it. But if everybody doesn't, try to do something else then. I'm kind of going to let you guys dictate a little bit of what the channel does. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I can only create a few videos a week, so I want to create videos that you guys want to watch. So, all right, see ya.